it's me, Danger 5 Hitler. I'm Danger 5 Hitler, and I'm gonna fucking get ya. Hey, it's me, the tax man, and I'm coming to collect my taxes, and there's nothing going on here. I'm just a green screen. Psych, pranked you. This is a prank. That was a prank, because we're doing a weird Canadian kid shows about prank patrol. Prank Patrol was an Apartment 11 production that debuted on YTV on the 6th of September in 2005. The central characters were Andy and his two ninja cohorts, who would find kids across Canada and then assist them in pulling off pranks on their friends and family. It ran for 4 seasons and reached the 100 episode milestone, and then there was also a British and Australian version of the program. There's no two ways around it. It was a banger show. Pretty much, if it was on TV, I was gonna watch it. I had a lot more personal investment in pranks when I was a young kid, when I was a little baby man, when I was a little boy. I think I had a mindset similar to the mindset that a lot of people had about quicksand, which was that pranks were a much bigger part of life, that pranks were going to be coming in and I was going to have to be throwing pranks out into the world. You could almost say that I was in a prank Cold War, where I had an arsenal of pranks that I was ready to dispose. I had memorized pranks from Prank Patrol, from the animated segments, the ones that you could feasibly do at home, because there's no way you were pulling off the more elaborate pranks on your own without Andy and the Ninjas' help. But I paid attention to those animated sections, and I also just kind of tried to think up of my own pranks, and I was ready. I didn't want to be the first person to do it because I realized that war is hell and being in a prank war could potentially be devastating. So I just sat on all these pranks waiting for somebody to throw the first punch, to drop the first bomb, so to speak. It never happened. It turns out that, no, pranks aren't that prevalent, despite what some corners of the internet would have you believe. But I think a lot of my fascination with pranks had to do with what was on TV at the time. There's Prank Patrol, which is what we're talking about today. And then there was What's with Andy, another show that I really enjoyed. And also Jackass was wildly popular at this time. I remember when Jackass 3D was coming out, and I would just hear, I wasn't allowed to watch them, but I would just hear from the other kids in school about the kind of pranks that they would pull on each other while filming the movies. And I thought, damn, pranks are the shit. And I don't know what happened in our society where pranks took such a negative spin. It's sad, honestly. I think that there's a very fine line and a difficult line to walk at that of what is a good, acceptable, friendly, no harm done prank, and then being an annoying asshole. I think most people have the social skills and the common sense to know the difference, but it's not always black and white. But yeah, it's just sad that the current state of pranks has gone so severely downhill. Really, the only guys that you've got doing a good job of it are like the Impractical Jokers and like Eric Andre. There's maybe more examples out there, but they're the only two that come to mind. One thing I also want to kind of dig into is that this show was shot in Montreal primarily, and Just for Laughs is also shot in Quebec. So what do French Canadians have with pranks? Clearly, they're the prankster capital of Canada. So shout out to my Quebecois brothers and sisters for keeping the prank game going strong and for bringing us hours of entertainment on shows like Just for Laughs. I always wondered, like, the parents or the family who were primarily the targets. You know, you would very often get people contacting Andy and the Ninjas to prank their friends. But a lot of the time it was, you know, I want to prank my older brother, or I want to prank my younger sister, or I want to prank, you know, my mom and dad. You know, it would be family members. And I've worked on film sets before. Shoots can be grueling. There's long hours. So I want to know, granted, I'll say that kids do generally get shorter schedules. You know, you can't work a kid a 15-hour day. But nonetheless, even for kids, working on a film set can be a long day. So if you were pranking dad or your older brother and you went out to go film on the weekend, because I'm assuming they weren't pulling kids out of school to shoot Prank Patrol. Maybe they did, but then that raises even more questions. Dad's not asking mom, like, what's Jimmy up to? Jimmy's been gone all day. Where is he? Oh, he's at his friend's house. Dad's not then going for 8 hours? Like, kudos to his friend's parents for watching our kid for 8 hours. That's a crazy hangout. And if they were pulling them out of school, so what? They have to get the teachers in on the prank. We're shooting an episode of Prank Patrol. Can't tell anybody because he's pranking his best friend Alex, who's in his class. So the teacher is now complicit in the prank. The principal's complicit in the prank. The parents and the family are complicit in the prank. You know, there's this is what I was talking about earlier about how war is hell and a prank war can be deadly because you turn so many people into liars. Yeah, this is always something that kind of baffled me was not baffled, but made me curious. What was the family dynamic like, or the classroom dynamic like during the filming of an episode? I really would like to know what the family was thinking and what classmates were thinking. 'Cause that's just funny to me. It's just funny to think that, you know, your mom waking up and all of a sudden dad's sneaking away. He's making phone calls and he's hanging up and he can't tell his wife that their son is going to prank them with a giant spider or a robot. You know, he has to keep it a secret or else he ruins the show. But now, you know, dad's sneaking away in the middle of the night. And he's talking to somebody named Andy on the phone. And mom doesn't watch Prank Patrol, so she has no idea who the fuck Andy is. Yeah. I wonder if any marriages got ruined, like if any families had affairs going on, and it kind of broke down the trust even further. If you were a kid who got onto Prank Patrol and you happened to be watching this video and your parents got divorced because your dad thought your mom was fucking Andy during the production, please comment down below and let me know. I also really like, more so than most shows that would have call to actions to try and get other kids involved, Prank Patrol was one that I really wanted to submit a letter or an email to and get on the show. Never did, but I thought about it. I was like, I gotta be ready for when Andy inevitably jumps out of a fucking bush and is like, hey, are you ready to join the Prank Patrol? Which, when I was a kid, being the dumb idiot that I was, I totally thought that those sections were unscripted. Like, you watch them now, and the acting is brutal. Like, usually the parents or whoever they're with aren't trying in the slightest to be surprised. So I have no idea how I didn't fucking clue in on this when I was younger, but I didn't. And I thought that, hey, maybe one of these days, before I even had thought I got an email or write into Prank Patrol, before I realized that there was no way they were flying out to BC to film an episode. I just was like, one day Andy might come popping out of the river, or you know, he might come out of a manhole and he might be like, hey, you ready to join the Prank Patrol? One thing I find quite sad is that according to the Lost Media wiki, almost all of season 3 and 4 are lost, if not partially lost. I think that's a shame, and not because, you know, Prank Patrol's this important piece of art that changed humanity or anything. I just think in general it's a shame when art goes missing. I don't know, maybe you've got a VHS tape out there that you recorded the show onto back in the day. But that's about it. It's a good show. I think it's impressive how much effort went into making this kid's prank show. Also, shout out again to our Commonwealth prank brothers, and I hope that you have a good day.